Jasminericegirl defies your expectations.
Last year, I was Forbes 30 Under 30 for the social media category.
She has a following of almost 300,000 on Twitter as she tweets about her sex life, supported her way financially through Wharton with an OnlyFans, graduated and worked at a top Wall Street investment bank, and today is co-founder of Fanhouse, a top creator economy startup backed by Andreessen Horowitz and the Chainsmokers. I'm Eric, co-founder of Karat. We help creators with their finances. And today I'm going to interview Jasminericegirl. We're going to play 36 questions to fall in love so that you get to know her a little bit better.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Eric.
Yeah.
You did leave out that I'm also one of your best friends. I think that's important.
That's the most important. I should have led with that. I am so sorry.
Just kidding. But now we get to play a little friendship game together,
Yeah.
which I'm very excited about.
So Rosie and I first met, what was it, 2 years ago?
Oh my God, really?
That
Maybe.
went by fast. I think it was 2 years ago.
No way, because I didn't even move to LA that long ago.
When did you move to LA?
I moved here last December.
Okay, so that's 1 year ago?
Yeah, a little
It's
over a year.
only been a year
That's
since
what I'm
I've
saying.
known you?
I'm just saying we're just that close. It feels
Oh
longer.
my gosh, that was such a fast year.
Yeah.
So the first time I properly got to know Rosie was when we went kayaking together.
What?
Remember?
Kayaking?
Yeah, remember we went kayaking?
What are you?
Paddle boating.
Oh yeah, I was like,
paddle boating.
must have been your other, not me.
Whoa, damn. I feel
Wait,
called out.
sorry. Can I curse on this podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, my bad. You know
Please.
me. I am. What did you say? Rambunctious
And ribald.
and right. What does that even mean?
I maybe saying
You're
ribald.
way too smart. No, I'm just.
Okay,
being too
it
smart
means
for me.
you
I don't-
tweet about masturbating and sex.
I do. This is true. I'm a big, I don't know, I'm just a big fan of like, people should talk more about taboo
Yeah.
topics. And if we have more conversations about these things, I think it'll help people navigate like things in their life, like how to have healthy sex lives, how to have conversations about sex. But anyways, I do tweet about sex a lot.
Do you remember
as a
what was
result.
the first like little bit bawdy, little out there tweet you ever did? Were you just like, yeah, I feel like tweeting this, or was it a decision?
I used to use my Twitter like everybody else, like as a, online post diary. And I always have been tweeting stuff like this. I mean, I've always been, I think, a very like provocative person. I think I always enjoyed being a little rebellious, a little chaotic, a little like talking about things that, like people are afraid to talk about. So even in like high school, even before Twitter or before social media, like I was that person in my friend groups, right? And then I think my very first kind of social media platforms were like Instagram and Snapchat. And yeah, even in college, I used to get in trouble for like my Snapchat stories because I would do things like, I don't know, I would like go out and get drunk and then I would like decide to shower with my clothes on. Like I am so drunk. I'm like, I'm going to take a shower with my clothes on. And I would like record it on Snapchat and post it as a story. And and I stand by those stories, okay? I think they were hilarious.
Quality content.
Oh yeah, so good. But it was just like to my friends, right? It wasn't anything public. But I used to get in trouble because I actually remember as a freshman in college, I tried to rush for sororities. And I would get along with so many people. Like people really liked me. They enjoyed meeting me. I'm a very social person. But then they would end up rejecting me in like the second closed rounds kind of thing because they said my social media was quote unquote too much, right? Like they didn't believe I'd be a good representation, I think, of their sorority, which is like, I think certain sororities, right, expect you to kind of be cookie cutter like everyone else, like, kind of like proper, like, especially at a school like Penn, right? Like, oh, like, you have to be classy, you have to be like certain things that I think a woman is supposed to be. And I think I rejected that so strongly that I think it intimidated people or people felt like I wasn't going to fit in, which is probably true. I don't think, they were wrong or anything for making that decision. It was just what their group needed and that wasn't me. But it's funny. It's just funny to think back though, because freshman year of college, I got rejected from a sorority because my social media was too much. And then, as you know, last year I was Forbes 30 Under 30 for the social media category. So it was just really, I know, it's just really cool to see like, hey, well, I stuck with my guns. I stuck with these things that I believed in. I talked about these things that I believed were important to talk about. And I mean, here I am, you know? I might have missed one thing, but I think I've gained so much more from that.
I really love that because you helped inspire me to go public on my Instagram and start making content.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, because like, why was I private before? Because I was scared. I was worried that I posted stuff out there. People would think that I'm stupid and I'm dumb. And you post such salaciously private things that everyone's thinking and talking about, but no one's publicly posting out there. It's like, well, if you can do it, then it's okay for me to share whatever I'm going to share.
No, I think it is. And I think for like, I think a lot of people out there, I think it's a very normal fear, right? Like we all want to be liked. And it is very scary to
Do you want to be liked?
Oh, of course. Of course. Everyone does. And it's very scary to put yourself out there, right? To be vulnerable, to be authentic, and then to get feedback that people hate you, that people think you're an awful person. I mean, I can't tell you how much hate I get on a daily basis, right? For what I post. Like I get called a whore all the time. I get called things like, yeah, like you don't have a father, like you don't have a real job, like you don't have a personality, like you're so stupid, you're so annoying, you're so cringe. Like I get those all the time. But I think something I've come to realize is I'm gonna get called those things no matter what I post, no matter what I do anyways. If I choose to be on the internet, if I choose to be perceived in any way, right? I think people are so judgmental and yeah, if you're gonna be hated anyways, you might as well be hated for who you are, is what I've come to realize. And I might as well have fun with it. If I'm gonna be online, then I might as well do what's fun for me, what I believe in, talk about the topics I wanna talk about. And again, I think what's most important is that the people I care about, the people I love, will always love me, right? You've never watched a story, right? It's so funny. I don't know if you guys see my stories, sometimes I hang out with Eric a lot. And every time I post a story about Eric, I'm always like, how can I caption this in the most sexual way to make Eric uncomfortable? Like literally Eric and I will be having the most wholesome time. Like we'll like be having a podcast, playing a wholesome friendship game, and then I'll take a selfie of us and I'll caption it like, I don't know, something ridiculous, like just sucked mad balls together. And it's so much fun for me to see Eric try to repost this, and then he tries to like cover up my original caption with like a wholesome one. But it's like such a game to me. But it's like, right, even I post things like that and it never affects our friendship. It's never like
it's fun.
You don't think I'm a bad person because I'm sexual.
There are times where like we go and play pickleball together and she'll caption it like just playing with balls with men, having a great time.
Love playing with men's balls. Love hitting balls back and forth. Love balls coming at me.
Oh wow, it's really just coming out. You're just free everything. This is the content creation machine right here. And so I will reshare it and I'll put my caption. It's like instead of playing with balls, it'd be like playing with pickleball. Or I remember we did one at the Super Bowl. You took a story and you captioned it. I love having sex with friends.
Yeah, I did. It was just it was like a picture of me, you, and Edison. And yeah,
Edison Park,
we were
Lonnie
just watching.
Too.
Yeah, we were just watching the Super Bowl, but I captioned it. I was like, my favorite thing. Oh, I remember. My favorite thing about the Super Bowl is all the foursomes you get to have with your friends.
Yeah.
Or like threesomes.
It was a good caption. It was powerful.
No, and it was just so fun because you guys kept reposting it with wholesome stuff, and I keep turning it back
just
to like
editing and editing.
I don't know. It's a talent. Guys, I genuinely think I was born with an ability to turn things sexual, and like, God forbid I use, I think I could use my talent much more for evil, and I don't. I just make tweet threads that are like, I don't know, Netflix and chill is over. It's time to HBO Max and climax.
Oh, you had
that was a beautiful thread. I had so many rhymes in my head that day. It felt like God came down to me and like whispered rhymes, sexual rhymes for streaming services into my ear.
So you're like Moses getting the 10 Commandments, except you're Rosie, and it's all sex puns.
Yes, exactly.
You were meant in this world to share your gospel and wisdom.
Thank you so much. I feel so seen.
You're like, I am understood. Did you grow up in a sexually open environment?
Oh, God, no. No. I think that's a big reason, actually, why I feel so strongly about creating a space for these conversations. I grew up in a pretty emotionally abusive household. My parents were Vietnamese immigrants. They grew up in a very different place and generation. And my mom was one of those moms that basically think if you have sex, if you have a boyfriend even, like before you're married, like one of those moms, then you're a bad person. And I think she shamed me a lot just for things like and here's the thing. I was the perfect high school student. And I'm like, I was the Asian parents' dream, like, daughter.
Yeah, you literally got into UPenn.
Hear me out. I had a perfect GPA in high school. I was valedictorian of my high school. I was class president. I was in all of these like honor societies and in leadership positions. All my teachers loved me. I was literally like teacher's pet. I was like, I was a virgin. I never touched alcohol. I never touched drugs. I never did anything. All I did was have a boyfriend, and my mom thought I was so bad of a person that she tried so many things. Like, she went to my school and went to all my teachers, lied to them about, and like told them like awful things about me. Like she told my teachers I was a whore and that I was like doing things behind her back, which were just simply untrue. She'd like try to like get me fired from my part-time jobs. She'd try to really, really awful things. And I think as a result, I just had such a, I think I really lacked a healthy understanding of sex and like relationships and how to have healthy relationships. And it took me so long and through like trial and error to learn things like consent, to learn things like, I don't know, like sex is supposed to be pleasurable and how to communicate and how to ask for things and and assert myself, because I was never taught that. And I think I was almost taught the opposite, that like I'm supposed, because that's what my mom was taught, right? Like I think a lot of Vietnamese moms, my mom's age, was taught that like your life is subservient to like your husband, right? And your children and your family. And my mom, like there's so many women out there that have like never had an orgasm in their lives, you know? And my mom was one of those people. And so I really understood why she like couldn't understand where I was coming from and kind of placed all these really outdated and like incorrect values on me. Yeah. But I just don't want other people and other women going through that, because it was a really painful process to unlearn all of that and be like, hey, I can have sexual relationships and I'm not a bad person for wanting these things, and here's how to do it in a healthy way.
I get that. What changed and helped you realize and grow past the environment and pressures of your mom, what you grew up in?
I think it was, I don't know. It wasn't one thing, right? It was so many things. It was like, and I mean, it's not just me too. Like my mom was like that with my older sister as well. And I think seeing what my older sister went through, and my older sister now has a terrible relationship with my parents, like doesn't really talk to them at all. She kind of moved out when she was 19 and kind of cut off all contact with my parents. So kind of seeing how things ended up for her and trying really hard to make things different. I think I have the blessing of being the middle child, which for me meant that I got to have more perspective. It was easier for me to see where everyone was coming from, right? And like really understand the concept that like, I don't know, like I don't really believe that like there's any, for most things, like that there's like good or evil people. I think we're all just people that do good or bad things sometimes, and we hurt people sometimes. And like, yeah, my mom was abusive, but I don't ever think that she was evil, right? I think she tried to do her best as a mother, actually, with what she knew, and she did a really bad job at it for a lot of things. But I actually still think that she was a really loving mom. I think she had a lot of love that she tried to give us, and I think what really helped me with my mom was just like forgiving her for her mistakes, and just like, I don't know, it's interesting just kind of seeing her as like this kid who had, you know, like when she was young and her mom taught her these things, like how would she know any better? So I think I was just really patient with my mom, and I spent a lot of time just talking to her, and I think explaining to her these things that I've come to learn, and like kind of proving her wrong. I think I had to work really hard, right? Like, because again, in my mom's head, there was the idea of like, if you have sex before marriage, you're a bad person. Like you're gonna get married, you're gonna get pregnant as a teen, you're gonna drop out of school, you're gonna do drugs, you're gonna ruin your life, right? If that's like if that's what she believes to be factual and true, I had to like help her unlearn that too. I had to be like, hey mom, look, I have a boyfriend. right? And I'm still making good decisions. I still come home. I still have my perfect GPA. I'm still valedictorian. And yes, like you said, I got accepted to University of Pennsylvania. That was my dream school. And I got accepted to school on a full ride, right? A full scholarship. And then I went to Penn and I had sex for the first time in college. And I kind of came back and was still so transparent with my mom. Right? It was like, hey, mom, I'm sexually active now, and I have a 3.9 in school still, and I am like still doing all these things that you want me to do. And hey, these things aren't mutually exclusive, actually. And I think that's something I still have to prove online all the time. I think there's still such an idea that like if you're sexually active or if you're, I don't know, horny or raunchy or whatever these words are, then you also can't be smart or kind or a good person, which is really weird to me. But I think that's why I lean so hard into some of this stuff sometimes, because I'm trying to prove to people like, hey, I can make jokes about my orgasms, right? And about masturbation, and I can still run a company that helps a lot of people. I can still, help creators online make millions of dollars. I can raise millions of dollars. I can work with investors. I can, also have, deep conversations about intellectual stuff. Like these things are both like, I don't know, like good actually. And again, not mutually exclusive. And I think it does help a lot of people. I think one of my favorite things about the content I make online is when I get messages from like women that are like, hey, you've really helped me like understand myself a little better, or like feel really seen, like feel like, like not feel ashamed for some of these thoughts that I have, or like feel that I'm normal, or like, have a conversation with my partner for the first time about things that I like. And I really just think, I'm not trying to say everyone needs to have sex or everyone needs to go talk about their sex lives. Like everyone should just do whatever makes them comfortable. But I think for the people that need a space and need, a person to tell them that it's okay, I'm really glad that I can be that person, because
You're showing it.
Yeah, because I didn't have one. So
you're trying to be that person where maybe for you growing up, you wish was there.
Yeah, but again, it's not. I don't know. I don't blame anybody. Like my mom didn't have that person either. And sometimes it's really crazy. But I feel like I'm that person for my mom too. Like I feel like I'm that person where she turns to for advice sometimes. When she's like, hey, no, it's it's TMI, but my mom talks to me about her sex life, and asks me for advice. And to me, that just really comes to show, like, again, it's like how important these safe spaces are for everybody, for even your own mom.
And it goes to show, going from a place of such utter condemnation and judgment, now she's in a way to ask you for help. It's really vulnerable. She's like, I don't know. And my daughter, maybe she does.
Yeah. No, I'm really proud of her. I think it was so hard for her, right? To like, cause she's had 40 years of like these beliefs ingrained in her, but I think she was willing to learn with me, and I really appreciate her for that.
I think you destigmatizing by just existing and recognizing that I really believe what you said as well. There aren't like good or bad people in this world. Like we are all just people. Mm-hmm. And we've been all dealt a hand of cards. And we try to play them the best that we can. And sometimes we do good things or bad things, but like we're generally all in our heads, in our stories, we're the protagonists, and it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So it's really hard to condemn someone as a human being terrible, but that still doesn't mean they get a free pass.
Oh yeah.
It's like, no, like you're a human, you did bad things, but those things were bad.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think, that's something I try to do constantly is like, hey, if I don't know, there's like a person that I dislike, but hey, if I grew up and had their lives and, were taught the things they were taught, like, would I really end up that different? Like it's, you really don't know that. And again, the same thing from my mom, like I'm not going to absolve her of like the harm that she did to me or my sister, right? Like she did some really, really messed up and really hurt us, right? Like I'm going to stand by and say she was very emotionally abusive to us. and I chose to forgive her, and to mend that relationship. And I think she's a better person now, right? Like both things can be true. I think it's a lot like, I don't know, like we watch TV shows, right? Like Avatar, The Last Airbender. And everyone's like, oh my God, I love Iroh so much. Iroh's the best person ever, right? Because he's this, peace-loving, like
uncle figure.
Tea-loving man. But also in his past, he was a war criminal that murdered a shit ton of people and and colonized cities. And I think even for a fake character like that, we can look and we can be like, hey, it's both. Like this person believed one thing and, they were taught certain things and had certain values and they changed and became better people and deserve, I don't know, redemption. I think I just believe that for a lot of people.
And what I love about you, what I really admire is that's become your superpower, your ability to take things that other people would be afraid or think is weird or taboo and show, hey, I can be an incredible Basil doing it. And I've mentioned this example before, but I just think it was such a good distillation of what you alone are able to do. So we were in a private retreat with the former CEO of Twitch, the founder CEO of Reddit, top agents, United talent agencies, and just a really impressive group of people with tons of credentials. And first of all, you were the only person there who was a genuine creator as well. Everyone here, it's ironic, we're all talking about working with creators, but you're the only one who's coming in who actually still does that. And second, when we were asked to give presentations describing the future of social media and changes we should make, we're all just going through our slides and you're just tweeting it from Jasminericegirl, your own account. You're like, hey, I'm going to go, instead of putting it in prezos, walk through my tweets. And I remember you ended with the most hilarious meme of a half-drawn horse where the front part is incredibly detailed and anatomically correct, and the bottom part is a horse stick figure where you basically said, hey, this was me tweeting. Started with a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of thoughts, and ended up, oh my God, I need to finish it. And I was like, I remember sitting there being like, what am I watching? Like, what is going on? Like all these suits are going up here and you're like, I'm Jasminericegirl. This is Jasminericegirl. Here are my memes about what we should do. Hey, if you were mean to people on social media, you should go to jail.
Oh my God, yeah. I was... Okay, so for context, yes, Eric and I went to this leadership retreat that was hosted by the former CEO of Twitch, and there were a lot of cool people there, a lot of CEOs that I looked up to. I mean, Eric being one of them.
Thank you.
But that's where we became close, first of all. So very fond memories for me. But yeah, everyone was supposed to give a presentation on like what they believe the future of the creator economy is supposed to be. And some people had very serious like research-backed presentations that were awesome and great, by the way. But yeah, I just wanted to be a little different and have fun with it. And I made a Twitter thread instead of like PowerPoint slides. And the threads were kind of just like, I don't know. It was just like, yeah, if you're mean on social media, you should go to jail, like straight to jail. Like that one meme from Parks and Recreation that's like, yeah, straight to jail. I included a lot of memes, dog pictures, just all the things that were important to me. And I think that's an important value I have in life, honestly, is like, I think we've been talking a lot just about like authenticity and like saying what, talking about what you believe in. But I really think just like having fun is a really big value I have too. Like when I talk about sex, it's like not just talking about sex, right? It's like, they're sex jokes. Like I say them because I think they're funny. I think someone's gonna laugh. I mean, life is like so stressful as it is, and you're a founder too, so you know how stressful it is all the time.
Painful
and it's
laughter.
Like
that's what the
all I want to do is laugh more. And like even at a setting like that where it's like can be very serious, like can we just have a little bit of fun? I actually remember a conversation I had with Emmett, the former Twitch CEO. That I really liked and stayed with me, but Emmett said something along the lines of like, he'd rather be stressed than be bored. And he makes a lot of decisions that puts him in stressful situations, but they're always fun. And I think about that a lot with my life. And I'm like, yeah, I would have a lot more, I don't know, peace and quiet in my life if I shut up on Twitter. But would that be fun? No. And I like having fun.
So what makes the stress worth it?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, again, it's a thing. It's like there's gonna be stress anyways, and like, I mean, you know me really well, and you know my life. But my life is so stressful, right? Like I grew up really poor in like you know, a crazy family, and I have been providing for my family since I was 18. My parents don't work, and we have a lot of debt. And like, for example, yeah, like financial stressors or something I'm stressed about all the time, like all the time. I can't tell you, like every time I have to spend money or yeah, like worry about if my family is eating enough, worry about my brother has enough money for med school. Like it is so much on my shoulders. And that's one. And like, right, like founding a company is the other one where, yeah, like, you know, there's a bunch of like, there's millions of dollars of investor money on the line that you need to, I don't know, 10x, 20x.
To deploy.
Yeah, build. You need to, like, please, like all the thousands of creators that are using their platform who all have different needs. You need to please your, like your employees who also have different, like, you know, everyone wants different things. And it's just all a lot that ends up on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind. I mean, it's what I signed up to do, and I think it's very meaningful and very rewarding. Just at the same time, it's like if I'm gonna be on social media, I'm gonna have fun with it.
It's like, hey, I have so much going on in my life, so many responsibilities. If I can just be a little bit goofy, then why the fuck can't I be
like,
goofy?
can I talk about my for a second? Like,
Yeah.
let's forget about work. Let's talk about how tight my pussy is.
I think, don't you have, like, when you go to your Twitter, I think your screen cap up top, your header image is the information talking about your gorilla grip coochie.
Yes.
Is that right?
This is one of my favorite accomplishments actually ever that I've accomplished a lot of things, right? Not to brag, but
She has.
but one of my favorite accomplishments is the information, which is this reputable like tech.
It's renowned. It is the top prestigious publication in the venture capital startup world, for those of you who don't know. You have to pay money to read the articles.
Yeah. But they did a front page full profile feature on me. And it was a wonderful article, by the way. Really talked like a lot about my upbringing. Like
Kaya wrote it, right? Someone else?
I don't think it was Kaya.
Okay. Anyways, please continue.
I believe it was Margot.
Okay.
Yeah, but let me double check that.
Full length piece on Rosie, which is usually reserved, by the way, for like the CEO of like Uber. Was what Rosie got.
But you should, if you guys go to my Twitter, for example, you'll see my cover photo is a screenshot, one of the paragraphs there. But it basically, one of my investors was giving a quote about how she chose to invest in Fanhouse because of how authentic I am as a creator, right? I think a lot of people build creator companies or, like you said, kind of talk about creators in a lot of ways, but don't really understand it or, you know, don't really live it in the same way that I live and breathe content creation. Yeah. But she was talking about how, like, yeah, like, it's so core to who I am and, like, I'm not afraid to, like, do what I'm you know, like, be the person I'm building for. But that's why she chose to invest in the company. And then the information ended up quoting one of my tweets, and it was a tweet where I said that I have a gorilla grip coochie, which basically just means type for people that don't know. But yeah, you guys can Google it. You can Google like Rosie Fanhouse gorilla grip coochie, and this article will come up. And it's like it's like, what's the word? Just like memorialized forever on the internet. In print that I am this like really cool founder, you know, that's raised $22 million, and I have a gorilla grip coochie. And I think that makes me so proud. That's one of my favorite accomplishments ever, honestly.
I love you're like, I am both.
I really am the duality of women.
I also, okay, two thoughts. Number one, I truly believe the secret in life is to find the intersection of areas where you are number one, right? Maybe, look, there are founders who've raised more money, right? There might be women with even tighter coochies. I can't believe I'm saying this. No,
impossible. I have the best one.
But you're the only one in the intersection of both. First of all. Second of all, I think that's the only time the information is ever going to use that phrase or word in the entirety. I would bet money that it will never use that again.
I would too. Yeah, and I think again, that's why it's good to just be you and be different. And like, again, I can't tell you how many people I know hate me or think I'm disgusting because of the stuff that I tweet. And that's okay. I don't hate them either. I think they're right to believe that. They have their own values. Exactly. But there are people that really think I'm cool for the exact same thing, right? And here I am in the information, I think, as proof of that.
It's like a really powerful concept because as someone similar to yourself, I also want to be liked. And the instinct for me is if I want to be liked, try and have as many positive touch points with people as much as possible, which means trying to adapt and anticipate what do they want to hear and trying to be able to serve that and add value. When in reality, I think you found this really true way of accomplishing that by like being so unequivocally you. Yes, you find a lot more people who don't like you, but you also find a lot more people who do. I think that's, as a friend, putting aside the admiration from a company and creative perspective, as a friend, one of the things I love about you is you are very transparent. Like what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. And if you don't like it, fine. You know that now. But that's just, you see her.
No, I really believe, I don't know. Life is just too short to be anything than yourself. And I really believe in like, I don't know. I really believe like the people that are right for you will be there. And the only way you know if they're right for you or not is to show people who you are, right? Because I would hate, I don't know, like I think so many people are with like bad partners or in bad relationships, for example, right? And they force themselves to be someone that they aren't really in order to like please their partner, right? And like, you know, there's this whole concept a lot of people do where like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to like the things that this guy likes so that he likes me, but it's just like not sustainable, because if he doesn't like what you like, is he the right person for you anyways? And it's better to know that sooner rather than later, right? Like I could never be with a guy that that thought my Twitter presence was gross, right? Again, that's not his fault, and that's not mine either, and we're just not good people for each other. I think there's an analogy that really resonated with me when I've talked about this with a friend before. But I think it's the concept of like, I don't know, just like imagine like there's a ton of people in the world, but like by sizes, like there's a bunch of like really, really gigantic people and really like tiny, tiny people, and everyone comes in different sizes. And yeah, maybe, and I don't know, maybe I'm a 5 feet little girl, and to the giant people out there, like I'm really tiny to them, and to even like smaller people, I'm really giant to them. But to the people that are 5 feet, actually, I look just right. So it's kind of this concept of like, whoever you are, whatever size you are, you need to show that and find the people that are gonna love you for that. Again, and I think that's something that really helped me with self-acceptance and like being okay with being disliked, which is really hard to do. But I think once you get over that fear and you actually think that it's a good thing, like actually if I'm being disliked, depending on who, obviously, right? But it can be a good thing, because now I know these are not the people that were right for me in my life.
It quickly filters out, because to your point, if you're trying to look for someone who's the right size for you, you have to know what size you're at and what size they're at, right? Otherwise, if everyone was just wearing like a giant ghost cloak that masks it just makes the process even harder.
Wow, that just like unlocked this memory for me. Oh God, there's like this, like, it's like a kid's book or something, and it's like these two people with like blue faces or something like that, but they like wear a mask and like they search the entire world to find someone else with a blue face like them, but they never find each other because both of them have this mask on. Kind of just the same analogy for a different analogy for the same
I
concept.
like it, but that's also why, because you're so open about who you are, you're like, I'll find the other person, they'll find me.
And you know this, but recently I think I just found a person that was like that for me. So and see, here's another thing that's cool. So for context, I just started talking to a guy recently who I think is a wonderful person, and he thinks the same of me. It's been really nice. But we found each other. We met in person at an event. But then he DMs me on Instagram actually and told me that he had an internet crush on me for a while. Again, it was because he had read about these different things that I'd done and like read my jokes and all of these things that he was like, I think she's really cool and interesting, and then asked me out on a date. And here we are. And I don't think I would have found him if I wasn't so, so unafraid to put myself out there again. So again, I'm really happy that I was one of the people that inspired you to go public, because with your Instagram account, because I know
I was private for a very long time.
I know, because I know how important. I mean, I can tell how much you love content creation too.
I do like
and
it.
like
Yeah.
talking to people and posting these things. So, and yeah, and like, right, like now you have this podcast and I want to,
we're doing it
I'm,
right now.
I'm genuinely so proud of you. And no, and it means so much to me that I got to be a part of making this happen for you.
Honestly, thank you. And I'm still scared by it. I still have the anxiety. When Rosie came, I didn't have the memory cards.
no,
Throughout all this, that's why I checked right now. I was like, oh my God, what if it is not recording? There's still a lot of trepidation around it. But hearing you share that, I'm like, thank you.
I love you so much.
Same seas. I am really enjoying this new side. And yeah, because you do put yourself more out there. Yeah. The one other thing, and then we should get to this. The one other thing I remember, Chris Rock in his recent stand-up special, he talked about how do people become noticed. And he said there's really 4 different ways that people become noticed. And he said, number 1, it's you show some skin. Number 2, you are truly excellent. Number 3, you're truly terrible. You're infamous. You're a villain. And number 4, you're a victim. In his head, I'm going to agree or disagree with this is true. He's like, these are the categorizations of how people become noticed. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, I think the most compelling areas and ways are when people are able to mix and blend some of those. And I think for you, you have the willingness to quote unquote show skin, like talk about the sexual taboo areas of things, but you are also excellent.
I appreciate that.
It's like both. And very few other people get to claim that they can do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, the New York Times wrote an article about 36 questions to fall in love. They took randomly selected. Yes?
No, I played that recently, which is why I'm laughing.
Oh, did you play it with your new? Oh, wow.
It was fun.
Was that the first time you had played it?
I don't know, but it's been the first time in a long time.
Ooh, okay. Fancy. So you probably heard this from him, but for those of you who don't know, the New York Times wrote a study. They took randomly selected couples of people, pairs of people. They put them through these questions around intimacy and reciprocity. I'm going to share something vulnerable, and please share back instead of shitting on me. And at the end of it, many of those pairs of people became friends. One pair even ended up dating each other and getting married. So
oh, cute.
the fact that you played this with your mystery suitor, it's probably
we're going to get married.
A good sign.
Kids. And yep.
We know he's going to be watching this, so I love...
I don't know about that. I don't know. He doesn't watch he does things with his life too. But
he's not just
right,
watching you.
Anyway, so we're going to play this.
So we're going to play. So the way it starts...
have sex afterwards, right? That's how it's going to happen?
Yeah, basically, right? That's what we do with all good friends.
Yeah, if you're friends
totally.
and not having sex and...
You know, I had a comment once. I played this with a streamer, and someone like commented, they're like, how dare you force her to play these questions with you? And I'm like, no, the point is it's consensual.
That's
it's fun.
So funny. So, people love to project online.
The way it starts is we're going to make intimate eye contact. And when I count down from 3, 2, 1... we're going to stare into each other's eyes. And the first person to either look away or blink, because if you're both comfortable in intimacy, you'll just stare at each other for the whole goddamn hour. So look away or blink, they have to pull the first card.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
I like that. That's fun.
Beautiful. All right.
Gamifying it.
3, 2, 1, go.
Can we talk?
We can absolutely talk.
I was going to say, I did this like meditation retreat thing. Was that the same time?
It felt like 1 millisecond.
Okay, I'll do it.
You'll do that one. Wait, what this meditation? Tell me about this meditation.
No, I went to this meditation retreat recently where it was an exercise where you stared into a stranger's eyes for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Why so long?
In silence. You can't talk. And it was very interesting. Like just eye contact. Like it felt like, I was forming like friendships with these people that I had never met before just through looking at their eyes.
That's really cool. Also 20 minutes. Maybe all we need to do is get like Joe Biden, Donald Trump to stare at each other's eyes for 20 minutes to see if the world's a better place.
I just think if people actually took more time to pause and just like look at someone else as a human being and like kind of see yourself in them and all these things, I think we'd be kinder to each other. Anyways, are you ready? How many speeding tickets do you think I've gotten in my life?
So I have been in the car while you drive. I know you don't like driving, but you're not a bad driver. Honestly, you're much better than I am, if we're being real.
True. I appreciate that.
I don't think you've gotten speeding tickets. Am I right?
Facts. Not to say that I don't speed.
Yeah, you speed, but you're
I
careful.
mean, but yeah. I speed. It's like if it's like like straight line on the freeway. Like of course I'm gonna go over 65. But I never do like speed to speed. There are a lot of cars that just drive crazy to be crazy, and I never like I get in a car. I'm trying to get home safe. I'm trying to get wherever I am safely and not get in an accident. So.
Well, I'm also impressed is you not only drive, but you're able to talk and have a conversation and play music at the same time. I'm like, when I drive, I'm just like, please don't die. Please don't die.
Right.
Have I ever driven you anywhere?
No, because you don't have a car.
I have a car. Will and I
What?
share.
What?
Will and I share a car.
Eric, you have a car and you don't drive? In
So,
LA?
Okay, first of all, Will is usually the one using it. By default, we assume Will's using it. So like half the time, it's not even available.
Sure.
Because Will, my
Will's
co-founder.
got things to do. Will's got bitches to see.
Exactly. Will's got his own life to live, which I really respect. And because of that, he usually drives there, so the car's not there.
Sure.
Second, you would not want me to drive you home, Rosie.
Oh, now that I know.
I gotta get you
How many
back in
speeding
one
tickets
piece.
do you have, Eric?
I have one.
Okay.
And so it was 2015, right after graduating. I went to go see a friend. She just got married right out of school, and they had their wedding in Michigan. It was snowed out. There were giant snowbanks everywhere.
Right.
People were literally driving behind each other to tow each other out when they definitely hit a snowbank. The
Right.
whole weekend I was fine. And then when I was turning into the airport to return the car to the rental area, literally the last turn, that's when I skidded and
Oh, that's
police cop saw me, and it's fine.
all right. It happens.
All right. I'm going to pull one for you.
Can I steal some of your water?
Of course.
Thank you.
We made tea for her, for those of you wondering.
I'm a tea lover.
She
Just
absolutely is. Tea and soup. Jasmine tea girl, Jasmine soup girl, Jasmine rice girl.
just love hot liquids in my body. Actually, is cum even hot? Damn, I don't. It's like warm. It depends. It depends on where you are.
You're like, I like hot liquids, extending to lukewarm. we made it work.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
made it
Thank you
work.
for the assist.
Of course. Do I seem like someone who would get
Yes.
a name?
Huge. Wait, sorry. No,
Thank you.
what?
Do I seem like someone? Yes, you seem like someone.
With the huge.
Thank
No,
you.
sorry. What is
Do
it?
I seem like someone who would get a name tattooed on myself? Why or why not?
I want to say no. Because I think you're very. I mean, you're very smart. Not to say that. People,
You're like only.
but it's not. No, it's not. Let me continue. I think you're very smart and you are very thoughtful. Like you are very cautious. Like you think carefully through a lot of like decisions that you make. They're always very intentional, and you're not someone that would spontaneously make a decision that would be a permanent tattoo on your body.
Wow.
I mean, that said, it could be. I don't know. Maybe you get your mom's name on your body, or like Jasminericegirl, your best friend. Like
Yeah, totally. Just
perhaps.
hypothetical.
But
Maybe
but
a
just,
QR code. to
But
your
it
Twitter
wouldn't
account.
be like I don't see you. I don't know. Like you date someone for a month, you're so in love that you like tattoo her name on your body. For
Yeah,
example.
you're right. I'm just like, tattoos are permanent-ish, and why do that until you really? I think if I was like legitimately like married and I just like knew, then I might.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Oh, I want you to answer.
I'm like looking at you right now. Well, I know you have a tattoo already.
Correct.
Yeah. What is that a tattoo of actually?
Kiki's Delivery Service. It's my favorite movie.
Like a beautiful little landscape.
Yeah, it's like a scene from the
Wow,
movie.
it's all colored too.
with a
Isn't
lot
it-
of flowers
it's, like,
because I love green.
Pretty recent, right?
Last July.
Okay, not that recent. Maybe I just haven't noticed it enough until now. So I know you have tattoos. Do you have other tattoos?
Nope, just the one.
Just the one.
Well, and a tramp stamp if you want to see it.
Oh, really? You have a tramp stamp?
No, I just
Oh, I was like,
trying
I
to
was
make you
intrigued.
uncomfortable.
I was like, what does this say? Fanhouse.
Imagine. I'm sorry. My God. A Fanhouse tramp stamp tattoo? That's dedication.
That's like the perk if you're a power user. Rosie will personally come over with a tattoo artist and tramp stamp it onto your body.
Yep, that's the.
You're like, yeah, totally. That's a new tier. So I think you might consider it similar to me. I think if you were just like legitimately like married and like had kids, then like maybe. But short of that, probably not. What do you? I don't know.
I don't know. I like tattoos with a lot of meaning. But I also like beautiful like color tattoos. So I don't know if I'd ever get a name. I think I would get like, even if it was like with a partner. So like the guy I'm talking to right now, we kind of joke about like getting matching flower tattoos with each other. But like even for myself, like I really want a rose tattoo, right? Because my name's Rosie, and I want a jasmine flower tattoo. But I think I want more images than like words.
So maybe like an image that symbolizes your partner.
Yeah.
That's a
Big
good one.
dick, made of huge.
Be like, this symbolizes my partner. I'm sure he's watching this right now and he's very happy. All right, let's do level 2. This time it's your turn.
Sorry. I do want to clarify though that I did not mean the word smart. I just meant cautious and like intentional.
Totally get it.
Because people can be spontaneous and get tattoos.
Yeah, it's the matter of deliberateness and how much
Correct.
you've thought about it and all those things.
Both players write the 3 most important things in life to you.
Oh, is this a
and then
wild card?
Oh yeah. Are we not doing wild cards?
We usually don't do wild cards. We can do a
That's
different
okay.
one.
What's your mother's name? Oh, and the most beautiful thing about her. Sorry.
Your face
That's what you
just
thought.
you like started saying it, your face was like open and confident, and as you continue, just like crumpled into the sentimentality.
I love my mom. I love my family.
So my mother's name is Cindy. That's her Americanized name. And I think what's beautiful about her, well, what's really funny, she told me she actually has been watching these podcasts. So I don't talk with my family that much, not because we're on bad terms, just because in a very miniaturized of what you went through, they also had a lot of thoughts and opinions for me that I didn't necessarily agree with. I understand where they were coming from. I know they love me. And the way I found to deal with this, I just don't interact with them that much. Yeah. And she does watch a lot of my podcasts, which I think is very cute because it's like her way of staying in touch with me. And she like, well, now like if I post them, she like send me messages or like, oh, like I thought it was really cool when you talked about that. And I'm like, on the one hand, I'm like very happy and very touched. And I think it's very cute and very, very beautiful. On the other hand, I'm like, oh, she's watching my content. Like, how do I feel about this? I don't know. Aww. So I think it's very beautiful. She loves me very deeply, and I know
that's
that.
sweet.
So.
No, I think there are a lot of Asian parents that just really struggle with like knowing how to show their kids love. But it's something I see in my parents too. Like my dad has never told me he loves me once in his life, right? Or like proud of me or anything like that. But one way he does, or I see him showing me love, is every time I come home, or when I used to come home for the holidays, I would see literally on the TV, like I would see like my like press interviews that I've done for like CNBC or for like Bloomberg or like, you know, like my YouTube reaction video of getting accepted to school. Like he would have those videos playing on repeat, just on the TV screen all the time.
That's cute.
And it's you know, sometimes they don't have the words for it or know how to express themselves. But I think sometimes if you look for it in strange ways, you find how much they love you. But my mom actually does the same thing. She watches every single one of my Instagram stories, and she replies to like every time I take a selfie or a picture. She's always like, "Pretty girl." She's like, "So pretty, so beautiful." She like gasses me. She's like my biggest like fanboy, dude. She's like my reply guy. It's really wholesome.
Does your dad also have Gorilla Grip Coochie screenshot it and captured from the information?
No, they don't really speak English that well to know those words.
The connotations, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, I'll pull one for you. What title would you give this chapter in your life? Would it just be like an eggplant emoji? No.
How long do you consider chapters?
Well, that's up to you. You're the author of your own life.
Interesting.
You can choose.
Well, I made a joke about this on Twitter actually, but I made a tweet that was like in my like wholesome and lover girl era, something like that. And I guess that's where I am. I honestly think that one of the most exciting parts of my life right now is that I am falling really hard for somebody.
The mystery individual who one day may be exposed in public, but to date shall remain anonymous.
And I think I'm in the start of like a really potentially beautiful relationship. So I think I'm in that chapter right now. Little romance chapter. Wow. I know.
That's even taken chapter titling rights. You gotta work hard to get that level of brand endorsement in Rosie's life.
Oh Jesus. What about you?
I think I'm in the getting through it chapter of my life, as unexciting as that sounds.
No.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things from a Karat company perspective we're figuring out. I truly believe in opportunity, and I know there's a lot of work we need to do. As you know, I went through a breakup that really sucked, so I'm in the process of still healing and figuring out from that. I think, yeah, the two of those alone, and then physically just trying to continue to get more in shape. Just in a heads down, hopefully in 12 months.
Yeah.
Things will be good.
I was also gonna add, I'm also in my like workout. I'm also in my abs era. That's also been a big era this year. If people follow me, you know I've been posting a lot of ab pics. Because I've been, one of my biggest New Year's resolutions was just being healthier. But there's been a lot of progress that I've been proud of.
Congratulations.
So yeah, I'm going to my first jiu-jitsu, like official jiu-jitsu class today.
That's a big deal. You're gonna roll with people.
Gonna roll with hot, sweaty men.
Are you going with your favorite hot, sweaty man?
No. I have time for myself too. I'm an independent woman.
Me. I love that. Okay.
When this game is over, what will you remember about me?
Well, there are a lot of things I knew about you already. So what's the new thing?
Remember me. Though I have to say goodbye. Remember me.
Coco?
Sorry. Yeah.
Great movie. Great voice.
Thank you.
I think one thing I didn't realize was the degree to which you grew up in a very restrictive and repressed household, which makes it even cooler that now when you share and you create, it's so focused on being the person you wish was in your life when you were growing up. And yeah, I didn't realize the extent, like it's mind boggling to think like you're literally in high school, you're getting great grades, valedictorian, getting into UPenn, and your mom's going around like, oh my gosh, she has a boyfriend, like talking to your teacher. Like, and it's like, wow, you went through it, and you have now learned how to understand that too, in the sense like, okay, that's a bad thing. She's not a bad person, but that is a bad thing. There are effects of that, which I'm only responsible to, but I also love her. And I think that balance between all of it, like, wow, that's really powerful. I'm gonna remember that. I think we're ready for level 3, yeah?
Oh, I pulled a level 3. That was level 3.
I was level 3.
Yeah,
Damn.
I was in it.
We're on the
I'm
same.
balls deep.
We're on the same. we're on the same wavelength. How does one? I should make a version of this deck for you.
That's raunchy. Oh, that would be so fun.
Oh yeah, it's like open but also sexually.
Yeah, like I don't know, what was your first time like?
You could totally make this, because you know what? There's very emotionally open questions like this, and then there are very raunchy ones, but they're just like raunchy. You know, I think you could release the balance in between.
I know. I think there's a balance of like sex related, but like
oh my God,
but
Rosie,
thoughtful.
This goes so well with your brand.
Okay.
This could be Jasmine.
I'm copywriting this. If you're watching this, you can't steal this idea. I need time to work on it. Okay, Eric and I are gonna make this together. That'd actually be fun. I'd work on it with you. We could,
actually, this could be pretty good. Actually, maybe we should really do this.
Yeah, no, I'm down.
This is so true to your brand.
And it would be so easy for me to market a game like that. So
let's talk after. All right, we're making clear. The birth of a unicorn. You're watching it live, folks. One day they'll make a Netflix series about this, and this archival footage will make it into it.
That's cute.
All right. How does one earn your vulnerability? Have I earned it? How can I earn more?
Oh, that's so interesting.
Never done this question before.
Well, to be fair, here's my thing. I think I'm generally like a very trusting and vulnerable person.
You're vulnerable. Just that's your default.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think I don't know if I don't know if I ever think people have to earn my vulnerability. I think I start with giving that trust first, and then it's like, well, how do you take this trust that I've given you? Are you
freaked out? Are you mean?
And are you gonna hold me safely and make me feel supported and cared for? Right. So it's more about how you return my vulnerability that I look at. And then naturally I don't know. I'm a giving person. Like I will continue to give more, and I'll continue to just be a loyal friend. But I do start with vulnerability.
I really love that. And I think that's 100% true. You are very open. You are very vulnerable. And no, it's something, I mean, because we became much closer at the Twitch retreat. thing in San Francisco with the Airstreams. And I think it's because, I was going through some difficult times and you're like super open and I felt really comfortable sharing, and then you're sharing more and I was sharing. We got to be vulnerable with each other. And I really, really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Love.
Yeah. Okay. Level 3 for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game's really easy for us because we actually know each other pretty well.
Yeah.
It's good.
Ooh, what do you think I fear the most?
Ooh.
Wait, I just did a question. So it should be you, right?
Maybe. I'll answer this one for you and then we can go next.
Okay, sorry.
We don't have to follow one. No, I'll answer this for you.
Okay,
What I
okay.
think you fear the most. What do I think you fear the most?
Men that don't do foreplay.
That's a good one. I think the good thing is you're not realistically going to ever have this issue, but like a world where everyone just like shits on you and like shames you and is really mean and doesn't care about you and just judges you. And I don't think that's going to happen because, to your point, right, you're very open, and so you find the people who do understand and support and admire. So I don't know.
That's very close, actually. I think my biggest fear is like being alone, like truly alone. Like if I lived in a world where everybody that loved and cared for me like died or were gone, that's like my biggest fear. Like I would kill myself. Like I'm not even joking. Like if all my family and friends like died, there would be no reason for me to live. Because I think a big reason why I'm alive is like to love and be loved. I think like love is such a core value for me, and like relationships and friendships. So if that's gone, it would be really hard for me.
You're like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But that's why it's never going to happen, because you have so many people in your life who love you.
You're
So
here.
exactly. Okay, this time I pull level 3.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Just got very excited there.
So strong.
I know,
Wow. Look at
wow.
those muscles.
This-
Guys, look at those muscles
you,
on
thank
Eric's
you.
body.
This
Are
whole
we
two
seeing this?
pound box, but lots of emotional heft in here. It's like the sword and the stone, just because it looks light, but actually, what do you think my weakness is? So many to choose from.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it a topic that would be too like
No,
related
no.
to romantic
We
relationships?
can be very open here, and if there's anything we decide not to, you're not going to.
You can always edit.
because
Okay.
we're going to edit it out.
I mean, yeah, we've talked about this, but I think you deal with insecurity, right? I mean, I think we all do, but I think you deal with it in a way that makes you vulnerable to, like, I don't know, attractive women that don't treat you well, and you stay in relationships sometimes a little too long that are bad for you because you're afraid that you can't do better than that. And
that's
obviously, if I got a wrong read, let me know.
No,
but
I think that's right. Rosie's like, I'm gonna put the disclaimer there just in case. I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. That's
But
definitely a weakness.
that's the only one that I can think of. But because I think you have so many great qualities
Thanks.
that both you and I know that, right? Like we both know you're incredibly intelligent, you're hardworking, you're so accomplished, these and these and these things. But I think when it comes particularly to romance, I don't know if you have that same confidence that like, hey, I am an awesome person that like people will love romantically, and that I will find a romantic partner that is, attractive, but also kind and like treats me well and like smart and like all these things, and don't compromise for anything less than that.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's definitely one of many weaknesses I have. And yeah, I think I grew up feeling very unattractive. I still feel very unattractive, right? Like as I mentioned to you, having some acne issues. I'm like, it definitely affects my mental state. And so I think the combination of never really feeling that way, never feeling attractive, a lot of it still stays with me. And so I think when I find people who like are into me, I often like really latch onto that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this person thinks I'm great. Well, they must be great as well. And well, let's really hold on to that tightly because who knows? It's a scarcity mindset. Who knows if there are other people who could think that as well. So I think you are correct. I'm working on it.
No, it's a hard thing. Like
Yeah.
even for me, like I still feel ugly all the time. And I have definitely like, I don't know. I used to have really, really low standards. Like I used to date men if they just liked me because I'm like, oh my God, a guy likes me. and they were terrible, terrible people. I've come a long way since then, but yeah, even still, like, I don't know. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I hate what I'm looking at. I think that's normal for everyone to experience some body dysmorphia, but I don't know. I do believe in just like that there's like the right person for you out there, like you're the perfect size for them. And I just, again, I feel like I'm experiencing that right now because I don't, right? Like, I don't think I'm the most beautiful person in the world. Like, I think I am cute.
But to him, you are.
Yeah. And I think that's what, that's all that matters to me right now. Like, everyone in the world could find me ugly. And as long as he finds me pretty, I think I'll be okay.
Now I really hope this becomes archival scrapbook footage for when you were married and looking back.
I'm such a simp. Oh, it's crazy. My God.
Look, they'll replay this one in our Netflix documentary of how we built the biggest cardboard game unicorn market. And second, and you are happily married with your mystery suitor and looking back on previous memories.
Yeah, I hope so. But if it doesn't work out, it's okay too. It'll have been a great time.
Exactly as you said. I think you're yourself, and you'll find the people who support and appreciate that.
Correct.
All right, let's do one more.
Okay. All right. Do you believe everyone has a calling? If so, do you think I found mine?
Ooh. Okay. So I don't think people have a calling as in fate just came and sat you down. They're like, Rosie, this is what you're going to do. I think we make our calling, right? I think life is arbitrary. There's no inherent meaning. There's no inherent good or bad. So you just get to decide what you want to do. And I think you have found what you like to do, right? Getting to blend these different sides of yourself and show to the world just by being you. Hey, you can be like this too. So, yeah.
I think I agree with that a lot. I think I kind of hate how like the education system is run, where it's almost like, oh, when you're 18, you have to pick a major and it's what you're supposed to do for your rest of your life and you're supposed to be passionate about it and like all these things. And I never felt that way. I never felt like I was someone where there was a career that called to me. I never thought I was going to be founder. I did not think I was going to be founder until I literally became a founder. And even now as a founder, I'm still like,
I'm a founder.
Is this my calling? Like, I don't think there's anything like that. I think there's just like, you have strains and you have things that you enjoy. And that can be, for me at least, that's a lot of things, right? Like, I love music. Like, there's a world that maybe I'm a musician and I write songs.
You sing.
Right? Like, instead of writing tweets, I just write songs. Like, I used to really like poetry and I still write poetry sometimes. Or like, I don't know. Or yeah, like maybe I could be a full-time content creator. Or like, I get to write, I get to make jokes. I get to, like, that's a thing I love. Or yeah, I continue being a founder, which I also love. I get to talk to people. I get to help people. There's so many things that you can be good at. And I think it's just like knowing what that is that can also sustain you. But I think people can have a lot of callings. Honestly, I feel like my retirement plans is I just want to have a little tea shop. I want to have a little tea shop with a lot of flowers and like make tea for people. Maybe that's my calling.
Oh my gosh, some roses, some jasmine plants.
Yes, lots of flowers. And just hot tea and like little pastries. And maybe there's a speakeasy in the back and it's like tea alcoholic drinks.
Ooh.
Tea infused cocktails.
I love that. What's your favorite type of tea?
I really like green tea. I can always go for a matcha or like a jasmine. It's always good.
I really am excited to see your future tea shop / speakeasy / garden-esque little...
You would be invited. I'm turning my room into that, like, as we speak. I'm looking into a little
like
garden.
It's happening.
With teas.
What do you have a name in mind? What would it be?
Oh.
Jasmine tea and beer girl? No.
It'd be something. There's had to be something sexual in there, you know? Like Coochie tea. I don't know, because it rhymes.
It does rhyme. Well, you know, there's a word.
Coochie tea and trees.
It could be tea cum beer. So cum, despite the other meaning of it, means like a mix. You know what I mean? Like X cum Y.
Oh.
But like you'll probably pronounce it a different way. I know. So.
See, there are a lot of things I haven't thought that far though.
Excited. Well, Rosie, thank you so much for making time.
This was so much fun.
How are you feeling?